Hey folks, I don't know if you guys are fans of current events or follow American politics at all, but if you do, you know that it's been a really mixed bag of a week, particularly the 25th and the 26th. We had some really, really crappy stuff happen, and we had some really, really awesome stuff happen. So that is going to influence some of my views in this week's video. Kind of apologize, but it's really important, so don't apologize that much. This week's question. I feel silly talking about sex, even with my intimate partners. How do I get over that? So this is where my views have to come in a little bit. With all the protesting that's been going on and all the stuff that's been going on, people keep using words like polite and decent and, what's nice and non-disruptive. And the more I hear people, particularly Texas senators and Texas governors, using those words, the more I just really think these words were invented to control. And you know what? I understand the concept of politeness and decency. True story, when I was a little kid, I was set away from the dinner table for talking about real ER stories involving lots of intestines and mutated bodies and dismembered corpses at the dinner table. They were like, we're eating spaghetti, don't talk about that, or leave the room. I was like, fine, I'm going to leave the room and tell my stories to people who care about them. I get that. People don't want to hear about intestines while they're eating spaghetti. But, talking about reproductive rights, talking about sexuality, talking about desire, especially with people that they're directly related to, it's not impolite to talk about this stuff. It's not indecent or immoral to talk about this stuff. And if anyone tells you that that it is, question what they're trying to control you on and whether or not that's okay for you. Okay? So, rant over. Now we'll actually get to some useful tips. Number one, if you want to get over, your fear of feeling, well, not your fear of feeling silly, but kind of your discomfort with feeling silly about talking about sex, just get used to talking about it and start talking about it in ways that feel safe to you. So talk about it with your girlfriends or your male friends. I don't really actually know the gender of the person who asks the question, so I shouldn't assume. But talk about it with your friends. If you can, host kind of like a sexy themed night, like a Fantasia party or a passion party or a 50 Shades of Grey book club meeting, and then pour some wine and invite everyone over for a gab fest a little bit before things actually get started. It's great because sex will already be on everyone's mind and you can kind of just keep going from there. Find online forums to talk about sex in. Then you've got that here's the internet and here's you, and you don't have to really be face to face with the people while you're practicing talking about sex and getting comfortable talking about sex and kind of working out your language and how you like to describe things. And talk about it really casually with people. Like I said, with your friends, don't necessarily talk about your specifics, but talk about what's on your mind. If you're talking about a study you read that said people who engage in BDSM are more mentally stable than people who don't, talk about that with them. Ask them if they read it. Tell them about the study. Just get used to saying the words sex, sexuality, kink, desire, fantasy. Get used to saying all those words out loud. Some tricks for talking directly to your intimate partner about it. What exactly is making you insecure? If it's just that you don't want to see their face, then you can try blindfolding yourself and telling them when you're blindfolded so you can't see their reaction. You can sit behind them and get up really close in their space and tell them your stuff right in their ear so they can hear you. That works really well for fantasy sharing, and it's kind of sexy, right? Because you can literally curl yourself around your lover and tell them your things, and you're going to see the back of their head, so you're not going to see their reactions, and it feels a little bit safer. You could also write them a letter, send them a text message, or send them an email. I'm a big fan of letter writing, and that's a really, I think, fun way to share things with the people that you're intimate with in your life, right? Write it out, leave it for them to read somewhere. Everybody still loves getting letters. It's a lost old world tradition. And next, remember that the people that you're intimate with should be interested in talking about sex with you, okay? Your sexuality and your sexual experience and your sexual desire directly impacts them. And they're probably feeling silly about it too. They're probably feeling a little bit nervous about it too, but they should be invested in having this conversation with you. So they should want to talk about it with you. And if they don't, then that's definitely something to keep in mind when you're kind of evaluating whether or not this is a partner who's very compatible with you. So I hope that helps, and I hope that you guys liked our Adult Sex Month Q&A stories, or questions, not really, well, lots of my stories got in there anyways. I would love to hear what you guys liked learning this month, either from me or something else you found on Twitter or Facebook or wherever people are sharing things. See you in the comments.